What's up, you guys? Welcome to my channel. I realize that a lot of you are new here, maybe from TikTok. My name is Caroline. I'm in the fashion, beauty, and lifestyle space, and I also work a full-time job in graphic design, so that's a little bit about me. But today I kind of just wanted to share with you guys. I gotten some requests over TikTok to kind of expand on my experience with lip injections. And I thought that I would do that for you guys today. I made a TikTok on the swelling that happened after, just kind of like as a joke, but it wasn't a good representation of my actual experience. So I'm going to tell you like the good, bad, and the ugly of getting my lips done. So I have gotten my lips done one time. It was about a year and a half ago. I got my lips done as a collaboration with a plastic surgeon. And I made, a post talking about my experience. My experience was great. Now, coming back a year and a half later, I would say it was average. I would say I actually wouldn't get them again. And here's why. And I'll tell you about like what it felt like. I'll tell you about why I may not get it again and the things that I did like to. I went in and I honestly wasn't sure if I was gonna get them done that day. I was like, maybe this is kind of a pre-thing where they tell you what's gonna happen. But they did do them that day. So basically the doctor came in, he kind of described like what I would feel, the aftercare, and then he said, okay, let's do this. And so I was like, okay, sounds good. I didn't even think about the fact that my grandfather's 80th birthday party was the next day and that there would be some swelling. Like, never really factored that in. That's where the TikTok video comes from. I agreed to do it, and there's been some discrepancy talking to one of my friends, Gabby Diaghi. She's an influencer. She always says that she gets half a syringe, and her lips she has some voluptuous lips. I got 1.5 syringes, and my lips didn't get that big, honestly. So it turns out, after doing some research, that basically the amount in each syringe, like syringe sizes, can in fact be different based on where you go. Like, they size it differently, so that might not be the best way to go. But it's called Juvederm, and I personally got 1.5 syringes. Basically, when he came in, he looked at my lips. I voluntarily showed him some photos of what I was looking for. He said, do you want the outside, the inside? I said for me it was important kind of that my top lip matched the bottom. So I showed him some pictures. In my experience, and I don't know if every experience is like this, but this is my first time getting any type of like injectables, like plastic surgery, anything like that. He looked at me and he was like, you know what you need? You need some cheek fillers. I was working with him. It was a collaboration. Like, he wasn't trying to get my money. But I guess the way that he is, like, he looks at faces every day. He looks at bodies. He sees what needs to be fixed as part of his job. I guess I felt like if I had asked, that might have been justified, but I didn't love that he looked at me and said, like, here's how you could look better. And some people might like that. I respect it. In my experience, it made me uncomfortable. It made me kind of like look in the mirror a second time and be like, are my cheeks flat? Like, do I need that? And I feel like, they want to make you more beautiful, but I don't think they should necessarily point out your flaws unless you're asking them to. So that was a little like thing that I kind of felt a little bit uncomfortable with, just like him staring at me and saying like, this side of your face is a little asymmetrical to this side. Wasn't that pleased with that, but it's all good. Like I said, he really advocated that I do some like cheek fillers, that I do some in my chin, that I do some here. I'd gone in saying I'm not gonna get sucked into plastic surgery. I don't want to change everything about myself, and so I wanted to stay true to that and go for what I was there for. And this was a year ago, so I feel like I may be forgetting small details. I think, they numbed me first. So they put on a numbing gel and they just put it all over my lips, and then they let it sit. And they left and it sat for a while. After a while, I was like, this is kind of weird. Like, I can't really feel my face. Just like with anything, I guess, my lips were really, really numb. I was actually really, really embarrassed because he came back in and he started talking to me about what I was looking for and maybe asking if we could film a video for our collaboration. And I couldn't speak. Like, I couldn't form the words from my mouth. And I remember at one point, like, I felt wet. It's so nasty. I felt wet, like, on my chest. And I had drooled and I couldn't feel it. I had no idea. And I was just like so mortified that this was like business. I was here and I was drooling in front of this man. So they do numb you. I don't think typically you'll be asked to speak. But that was just kind of like a funny little thing that I remember. So they had me numbed, and then they came in, and so the doctor came in, and then he had an assistant as well. And if you watch any type of like plastic surgery shows, botch, whatever, I don't because it like makes me queasy, but I guess they have that tool that vibrates to kind of distract your mind from the pain. So the assistant or the tech like held this vibrating tool on like my cheek while he injected into my lips, just so that I wouldn't feel as much pain. For me personally, like, I'm gonna be honest, it was extremely painful. Like, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it an 8. Like, I hurt. Like, it was really painful. Like, tears were forming in my eyes and I couldn't get them to stop. Not crying, just like, it was painful. He injected the needles, I would say like over 30 times. So like, he really got in there. Like, my lips were feeling voluptuous. And I'll put a picture, a photo from before and after as well. The swelling didn't go down for me for about like 3 days to a week. I loved the way that my lips looked when they were swollen, honestly. I have a Insta story that I put up and I was like, look how great they look, and a bunch of people were like, what did you do? But they call it lip greed when you like really like right after and they get big, like before they go down to their actual size, you start to get greedy and you like all the Juvederm or whatever that you're using. I was swollen. So like I said, I had my grandpa's 80th birthday the next day. I went to my parents before my grandpa's dinner and my mom like freaked out. She was like, what did you do? Like, what did you do to your face? We actually went into the bathroom and she completely covered my lips in concealer. And then we used lip liner and redrew on smaller lips just to like deceive the rest of my family, I guess. And then we went over that in lipstick to like look like I had smaller lips, even though it was like kind of puffy above them. As soon as we got to the dinner, like my aunt looked at me and she was like, what did you do to your face? So it didn't work. Actually, funny little add-on is that my mom straight up said to her like, oh, she got stung by a bee. Like my mom really thought that would work. So that was my swelling experience. But like I said, I really liked the swelling. By the time they went down, I was really disappointed. I went back and I was like, it didn't stay. And he's like, it did. He showed me the before and after photos. He's like, your lips are a lot bigger. And they were. You got that lip greed and you want more and more filler. And I think that's why it's addicting. So I had my lips that were done. I'll attach a picture, I guess, here of what they looked like after the swelling went down. So how I felt about them. Well, at first I was like bummed, obviously, that they were smaller. As time went on, so I could definitely make some new faces, you know, some new like pouty faces for my selfies or things like that. Like, that was really fun. But also some faces that are just part of like my face I couldn't make. Like, a lot of times I like to do like a closed mouth smile and I like had so much lip that I couldn't do that. So I was a little bummed about that. And so they lasted, I would say that size after the swelling went down lasted a year. Like, I think maybe slowly they got smaller, but I just kind of adjusted to that as the new size of my lips. I liked them, and this now is what you're seeing now is my natural lips that are completely overlined. I actually just put up a video on my TikTok showing how I create this look, but this is not a look from lip fillers. They lasted, honestly, a good long time. I think typically the prices are like 800 to like over 1,000 for like the syringes. So I don't have the budget to keep that up. Also, when I can like overline them, I can achieve the same type of look and still not go through that pain or discomfort or like the swelling. So for me, I wouldn't do it again. A lot of people do it every year. I get that. If I had more money and maybe at like a higher pain tolerance, I could see myself doing that. But honestly, I don't want to get into that habit. But I guess just to kind of finish with the video, I wanted to discuss my thoughts on plastic surgery because I have this conversation with my friends a lot, and I feel like for women this is an ongoing conversation, is how do you feel about plastic surgery, about altering your face or altering your body. So basically I did it as a collaboration. I was always very like, oh, I'll never do plastic surgery. I love my body, I love myself. There's really not much that I want to change. That's kind of just how I feel about that. But I kind of just decided to get my lips done as like a trend-based thing, like big top lips. You know, Kylie Jenner brought the trend, like Alexis Ren. So the truth is, like, I do believe that plastic surgery can be addicting. I think that if you're doing it, maybe have like a buddy, somebody that can kind of tell you like maybe you're going too far, and just keep you like in a good headspace when you are going into it. I think that plastic surgery is good overall, because if there's something like your nose or whatever it may be that has been bothering you your whole life and is making you feel less confident, I think that why not? You know, if you've worked hard and you have the money to spend on that insecurity, like, go for it. I have no problem with that. I know, to be honest, that there's something that I will probably have plastic surgery on in the next couple months, years, whatever. And that's my business. And if somebody asks, I would be open about that. So those are my thoughts on it. I think that there's no need to shame people for doing plastic surgery, because I think this creates the culture where people pretend that they don't do it. I think a lot more people than you think have things done, have work done, and then they hide it and they say, no, that's all natural. And that creates this environment among girls of feeling like they need to be perfect when that's not. Like, that perfection doesn't exist. That was, you know, man-made. So that's why I think that it is important to talk about it, and it is important to have it as something that is accepted. Anyway, rant over. That is my experience. Feel free to comment below if you have any questions on my plastic surgery experience. Like I said, the swelling did go down. It was a relatively good experience with just a few bumps in the road. And also, I did go for plumpness rather than like wrinkles around my lips, just to make that clear. Like, my goal was to be like plump and like Kylie Jenner. And that concludes that. This is my third video on YouTube ever. If you want me to make more, or if you like this, smash that subscribe button. Shoot me a comment or like or any of that good stuff. My Instagram, TikTok, everything is linked below. Contact me there. I love to hear from you guys. Have a good one. Peace out.